with car number 90 at the back of the pack from Tucson, a really nice guy, and that beautiful Ford T-Bird. Car number 90, Chuck Boslin.
Car number 71 with that young Charger at the wheel. He's but 20 years of age. What an aggressive driver in his Chevy 406 tonight. Tucsonan Paul Banghart.
In the car number 61 from Tucson, they call him Rapid Roy. Sponsored by Royal Automotive, Copper State Towing, Quaker State Oil, Rogers Automotive Finishes. Car number 61, Rapid Roy Gibson.
Back to the 48 machine that you caused George Camp to do a little dipsy around.
He dipsied me first.
That Buick number 48 with Tucsonan Lou Malandrone.
Oh my goodness, let's not forget Chuck Boslin's sponsors, Drake & Sons, used auto and truck parts, and Jason's Restaurant for Chuck Boslin and car number 90. Well, a brand new automobile out here this year, or this week I should say, sponsored by Valet Auto Service, Miguel's Quality Radiator, Citgo Oil, Grant Auto Supply, CNC Cleaning, CNC Construction, Custom Design Consultants, Hallmark Construction, car number 84, Dana Fight. And Friendly Auto Service from the Friendly Auto Teams, also sponsoring 84.
The number 44 of Tucsonan Kevin Clayton, sponsored by Quaker State, C&L Thunder, Alpha Plumbing, Southwest Radiator, Spars Gym, Certified Electric, Lou's Speed Shop, George's Automatic, Greco Painting, Designed Communications in his 10th year of racing. Tucsonan Kevin Clayton.
In the car number 73 from Eloy, Arizona, sponsored by Hancock Towing, Garage in Eloy, Valley Auto Parts in Eloy, the Eloy Pickers, and Snap-on Tools in Tucson. Car number 73, Mike Hancock.
The number 98 machine from Tucson, sponsored by Arizona Machine and Tool Center, Inc., Townsend Racing Works, and American Spectrum Corporation, with Tucsonan Robert Townsend at the wheel.
In the car number 52, B52 from Tucson, sponsored by Performance Engine and Machine, Certified Auto Electric, Brassfield Auto Parts, Braswell Carburation, Copper State Towing, Simonson Generator, ABC Radiator, DeYoung Motorsports, Ron's Racing Products, D&M Manufacturing, Jamie Throckmorton Jr.
And sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet, Townsend Racing Works, Tucson on Tapes, Steen Engineering, and Foothills Automotive, the number 14 O'Reilly Chevy of Tucsonan, Terri Green.
In the car number 23T, sponsored by Sanavir Rock and Material, Georgia's Automatic Transmissions, Hoffman's Dairy Queens with 2 locations at Sarnoff and Broadway, Golf Links and Pantano. Car number 23T, Jack Moore.
And sponsored by Eastside Engines, DeYoung Motorsports, Valley Marble, and the Tucson Boxing Association. In his 10th year of racing, number 88, Tucsonan Dwayne Lang.
In the car number 4U, the Budweiser 4U, sponsored by Budweiser and Golden Eagle Distributing, Performance Engine and Machine, Certified Auto Electric, Brassfield Auto Parts, Braswell Carburetors, Pennzoil, Top Line Auto Repair, A&C Radiator, car number 4U, Rick Sipes.
Inside row 3, sponsored by Southwest Stucco, Sunset Ornamental Iron, Colb Road Lounge, the Bootery on Craycroft, DNR Communications, Drake & Sons, Used Trucks and Parts. Number 9, Tucsonan Marion Smiley.
In the car number 74, a Camaro 406, sponsored by Blue Circle West, Performance Engine and Machine, Amarillo Braswell Carburetions, the Spirit of Vicky Lynn Danny's Racing Apparel, Amarillo, Texas, car number 74, Carl Trimmer.
That second row, the number 17 machine, sponsored by Coors Light, A. Pierce Company, Arizona Spring, Townsend's Racing Works, McLaughlin Body and Paint, Pima Welding Supply, and Pennzoil. That 410 Corvette of Tucsonan, Ivan Russell.
On the outside pole position tonight from Tucson, sponsored by Quaker State Oil, Performance Engine and Machine, Gary's Towing, Greco Equipment Rentals, Certified Auto Electric, car number 94, Bobby Markham.
And on your pole position behind the Rawlings Chrysler Plymouth Pace car here at Raven Raceway again tonight, and sponsored by Southwest Stucco, Sunset Ornamental Iron, and D&R Communications, Tucsonan Ron Lutes.
And our pace car tonight from Rawlings, Chrysler, and Plymouth. Up front, that beautiful-looking automobile driven by Dave Maness, our pace car. Hey, we even got a little bit of a hand out of that one.
They let Dave Maness loose in that?
They sure did.
That may be a last time they find out about his midget and sprint days driving.
No, he said he's driving the sprints again. Well, anyway, bringing up the field, we did not announce him because he just came out on the racetracks, sponsored by Marketing Concepts, Brandon Communication Systems, Brandon Brothers Texaco, Bob's Engine Service, Certified Electrics, Jack's Towing, car number 55 from Tucson, Bronco Billy Brandon.
Want to further mention the people behind Paul Banghart's machine tonight. George's Automatic Transmission, Certified Auto Electric, Dick Pinnell's All Exhaust System, Cactus Boot and Shoe Repair, Auto Visuals, and Creco Contracting Rental Equipment are some of the new names on the sponsorship list. Also got a couple of new crew members for Mr. Banghart in Warren Shatley and a guy named Harold. And on Lou Malandrone's Buick number 48, Frontier Towing, Parts World, ACI, and C&T Tire. We were unable to mention those sponsors for you at the start of our introduction session, so now I think that pretty well brings us up to date.
David Fox, please move your car off the front ramp so we can start this race. David Fox, car number 0, move your car, sir.
Please.
Please.
Maybe.
Do it.
Here comes another cup of brew.
Where's mine? I've got one. I got my own. Did you give her a tip?
I'll give her a tip.
Tell her to save her money. I've got one of those cheese crisps up here we can munch on. You think we can munch on one in between the race?
Tell you what, there is a lady, I have a feeling, with a little bit of manipulation we could see racing in the not too distant NASCAR Charger future.
Is that right?
She has flat out gotten it in her blood, having started following the sport out here once again several weeks ago, and we've had the good fortune of seeing Gina right across the board, and what a nice addition to our family she has proven to be. So the pace car sets the initial pacing here for Ronnie Lutes and Bobby Markham, Ivan Russell, Carl Trimmer, Marion Smiley, Rick Sipes. Your top 6 as we... Who's that sitting in the right there in the shotgun seat? Is that Linda? The First Lady of Raven Raceway. Taking a ride with her old man who used to do it in sprints and midgets. Not necessarily in that order. Dave is cranking it up now and getting ready to make a spectator of himself in time for a 30-lap late model main event for you here at Raven Raceway on a Saturday night. Thanks again, everybody, for coming out and being a part of it. Let's get Dave Maness and lovely wife Linda out of here, because I got a feeling, Jackson, we're going to go green anytime now.
I've got that same feeling, Tom.
And here we've got it. The green flies, and so do these men in their magnificent racing machines. And Ronnie Lutes staves them off in the early on, diving into the lead by turn 1. Running just ahead of Ivan Russell in that Coors Light Silver Bullet Special. And look at Marion Smiley with company on the outside. Down the back shooting into turn 3. And that's where he hangs in third position. But Rick Sipes is awfully close behind him. And Bobby Markham Jacob and Carl Trimmer, too. Your top 6 in this one. It's still Lutes, but not for long. Ivan Russell's got his number and nails him on the inside of turn 2. Into the back straight they go with Ivan Russell in the lead. Marion Smiley now puts his own move on and passes into second place. Rick Sipes also passes Lutes and takes third place. Trimmer is hanging right there behind those guys. Trimmer running side by side with Ron Lutes. And now Trimmer eats him up on the inside of turn 2. And here we are heading into lap number 3 for these guys. Coming out of turn 4 and by you now. Ivan Russell, number 17 in the lead. Marion Smiley is now running second. Rick Sipes third. Carl Trimmer, the spirit of Vicky Lynn, is going fourth in this one. Russell all by himself. Then a three-way battle for second place. Marion Smiley now pulling out of that three-way battle, and looks like he's going to go up and make it a two-car chase at the top, Jack.
He's pulling away from Rick Sipes just a little bit right now, Tom, but Carl Trimmer's right behind Rick, and Carl's going to try to overtake Sipes as they head into a little bit of traffic, but no, the traffic goes wide.
Chuck Boslin riding the high road up there to stay out of trouble, out of harm's way between 3 and 4. And that strategy works for him as Ivan Russell leads him by. Marion Smiley, Rick Sipes, then Carl Trimmer. Looks like Boslin is out of here and into the pit fields now with that patriotically painted number 90 T-Bird. A good-looking car, but right now it's a good-looking lead by that car and that man, Ivan Russell. Marion Smiley, Rick Sipes, Carl Trimmer, and Dwayne Lang in that order as we chip away on this 30-lap NASCAR Winston late model main event. Ivan Russell leads the parade out of 4 and by the grandstands area. Looking strong, too, as he has looked over the past couple of weeks. He got there in a big main event fashion last week after cars that were running in front of him got tangled up and took themselves out. Tonight, he's not leaving it to any chanciness whatsoever. He's running all alone in the lead. Smiley still continuing to stave off Rick Sipes. Sipes has got some moves he wants to put on, just not quite able to get it done as he runs a little bit out of roadway up there on the low road, Jack, between 1 and 2. He hits some bumpy spots on the infield welcoming retainer, and it's not always so welcoming, is it?
No, it isn't. It looks like Carl Trimmer is just sort of hanging back and sandbagging a little bit to me, Tom, because it's still early in this race. Sipes doing everything possible he can to pass up Marion Smiley, but just can't seem to get around him because they look pretty even right now.
Lap number 6 is being gone into right now by Ivan Russell and the rest of them. Lap 10 didn't make that. My hearing is not working, especially this late in the evening. Lap 10 is what we're working on. 1/3 of the way through. Ivan Russell continues on in the lead, and we're running under the lean, clean, and mean green continually tonight here, Jack.
Looks like Marion Smiley starting to pull away from Sipes and Russell, or Trimmer again right now, and my tongue's getting a little bit tied. But Ivan Russell opening up the gap just a little bit more as he heads down the front straightaway and lapping the last car in the race, that car number 44. Kevin Clayton.
Dana Fight taking his new machine off of the track surface and into the pit fields. We'll see if he gets a quick return or not. That new number 84 of Dana Fight. Lou Malandron doing some backfiring up there in turn 1, spitting out some pretty good bolts of fire for you. What a spectacular show this one has been so far this evening, and I don't see anything to change it, Jack.
I don't either, Tom. They all look clean and green out on the racetrack right now. Let's hope they can finish this way with 13 of them in the books and lap number 14 coming up right now.
Oh, my goodness. Side by side they are. The laughing boy, Marion Smiley on the outside, Rick Sipes on the inside. But Sipes just waltzes off and takes the positional lead as we get the halfway point on this main event for you. That's the indication George Camp is giving your leaders right now with the crisscrossed red and yellow unfurled flags. So we are at midway, Jack, and boy, what a race this one has turned out to be, with Ivan Russell continuing on in the Coors Light Silver Bullet Special number 17 right there. And I'll tell you what, when he goes by the announce tower all by himself, He is giving us,
Oh, our leader.
a thunderous reception. The vibrations he is sending all the way up through the tower here are just phenomenal. Russell gets into a bit of a full-blown jam between turns 1 and 2, and Sipes blows right by him, and now likewise, it looks like Carl Trimmer has eaten him up too, so Russell suddenly drops off from the lead to third place, and who's he looking up to but his arch rival and old nemesis Carl Trimmer in the Blue Circle West sponsored Spirit of Vicky Lynn 74, who's running in second place to Rick Sipes. Rick's first main event win was on the night of Saturday, July 4th, fireworks night here at the Raceway.
This is going to get real interesting because Sipes and Trimmer now running into traffic and got a few more as the yellow flag comes out as car number 98 spins out toward the back straightaway, and that's Robert Townsend in car number 98 having a mishap just beyond turn number 2. So this is going to close him up, turn this thing into somewhat of a trophy dash as we've got 18 laps in the book right now as Rick Sipes winds up leading this one when Ivan Russell, having some kind of handling problem or whatever it was, he's in third place right now. Carl Trimmer right in front of him, and Marion Smiley in fourth place. So good close racing action once again here at Raven for our main event, Tom.
With Robert Townsend becoming the first casualty of the evening here in main event fashion and producing the first yellow of this one tonight. He will come around and tag the back of the pack, a pack that is now led by Rick Sipes in the Budweiser 4U car, looking for his first main event win since back on the 4th of July on our big fireworks night. And Dave Maness promises only bigger and better fireworks shows in the future. How he can top this one, I have no idea.
Boy, I don't either.
But if anybody can do it, he'll be the guy to get it done. So Sipes is in the lead here. Ivan Russell, your earlier leader in this one, is now looking up from third place. And he's looking up the rear tail of Carl Trimmer there in the Spirit of Vicky Lynn car. After Russell, it's Marion Smiley there in number 9, Dwayne Lang in 88, Jack Young in 23T, and Bobby Markham in 94, Terry Green in number 14. That's how they'll stack at the top in the restart phase of your main event here this evening. 18 laps are now gone. 12 laps remain here, so it's beginning to take on the form of dashability. Even with 12 laps remaining, Rick Sipes in the lead. The green is in starter George Camp's hands, ladies and gentlemen, and let's see if we don't go racing. Yes, we do, and there goes Sipes, Trimmer, and Ivan Russell, your top 3 guns right now in this one. Out of 1 and out of 2, and your lead 2. Sipes and Trimmer beginning to do a little of a pull away on Ivan Russell. Still behind Ivan is Marion Smiley. We've got yellow once again. That'll slow them down. Can't believe how quickly those 2 top cars right there, Jack, got her turned around in a week's time.
That's for sure, Tom. Both of those cars battling for the lead last week and having a mishap down the front straightaway, but they've got them all put back together, and both of them look like they're handling just fine tonight. Well, here comes Chuck Boslin.
Yeah,
back
Boslin,
out.
And the patriotic T-Bird is back.
Glad to have him back out there. Let's see if he can catch up to the rest of them, and maybe we can get the green on this one. And George tells him, come on, Chuck. Catch up.
Love the looks of that little machine as well, you know by now.
Don't think we're going to get the green on this one as the yellow flag still flies, and George Camp. George Camp's hand.
Slow hand Luke, they sometimes call him. Tell you this much, if Boslin's car ever comes up missing, Jack, all they have to do is come up to my place and take a look, and it'll probably be parked out behind my house, hidden under the old shade tree.
Well, Ron Lutes is being black flagged to the back of the pack for what they call a Texas start. And he was jumping the gun just a little bit, so they're telling him to go to the rear. And let's see what happens now. George has the green flag in his hand.
George wants to go racing, and so do you folks. I can just itch and tell that that's what we want. I know that's what we want up here. That's what Rick Sipes wants, and he's got it. And the 4U, the Budweiser car leads Carl Trimmer and Ivan Russell and Marion Smiley and Jack Moore. Your top 5 machines right now in this one into turns 1 and 2. And now Jack Moore has suddenly got company inching up behind him. And then there's a little bit of a gap in the field before Terri Green comes along. But it's Bobby Markham trying to cut it off now on Jack Moore and maybe even Marion Smiley as we've got yellow yet again here, and we've got him wild and woolly up in turn 4. At least one down up there right now, and that would be Robert Townsend again in that number 98 racer.
Second spin for Robert Townsend, so he's going to be black flagged out of this one. That's all for him tonight.
Here's your helmet. What's your hurry? Now get out of here and don't let the revolving door kick you in the butt.
Yep, it'll be next week for him. Well, a quick move by Jack Moore in 23T ahead of Marion Smiley, but the lap was not completed under the green flag, so Jack Moore reverts back to 5th place right now. Am I correct? Oh, okay.
Terri Green has dropped his O'Reilly number 14 Chevy machine into the pits.
Had a flat tire, I was told by the officials.
He has had an inordinate number of flat tires out here so far in this 87 season.
You guys are officials, aren't you? Yeah, I guess you are. Just kidding. The lineup is okay, as we are told.
Boy, those are lovely words, aren't they?
Yes, they are. How many laps we got down on this one? Pick a number. 42 laps down, 105 to go.
Oh, Tony Barrow, you are in a feisty mood this evening.
Just kidding, folks. This is a 30-lap event. Everybody looked up here at me like, are we here going to be here till midnight?
Still got Valley Marble Dog and cat dishes, too. Don't go away. We'll give those out in between our main events here this evening. And no, we won't be tossing them into the stands. They weigh somewhere between 5 and 7 pounds apiece. But I can't think of a neater gesture to give your loved one pet at home than to show up with a Valley Marble Valley doggy dish.
My tarantula?
Even your tarantula. Have you domesticated that sucker yet?
Sure have. Got it potty trained.
Wow. That ought to be a sight. Osland dropping out of here again with that number 90 car. And 14, Terri Green is making his way back out onto the track.
Doing an Indianapolis pit stop on a tire change on that car. Good job.
Got a quickie job on that. Got it turned around, and he'll be back into the field.
19 laps down in this one, Tom. Just 11 more to go.
Boslin may be taking a little bit of a guesswork here on how long the yellow will last to do his drop off into the pit field, and he, like Terri Green, will see if he can't get it turned around rather quickly. I don't see the green machine just yet. There he is now, coming out from behind the Budweiser sign. Terri Green. Haven't seen his lovely better half, Kathy, but I would imagine she is somewhere in attendance this evening. The speed up sign being given her old man by George Camp to tag around and do so quickly. He wants to fly the green, and I know you folks want to see it again. Let's see if we get it here, Jack.
Looks that way. Here comes Rick Sipe leading them on around as George Camp gives the green flag, and we're back into the main event once again. Sipes brings him around turn 1 and 2. Trimmer right on his rear. Ivan Russell in the car number 17 being passed by Marion Smiley right now, and Marion just making one whale of a charge.
Looked like turbo booster time there for a moment or two, but he made the pass in flying colors fashion as Rick Sipes now tries to open up a little bit of a pad on Carl Trimmer. Trimmer comes right back and gives him a little goose to let him know he's there and that Sipes is not going to go running away from him. And now Ivan Russell trying to gain back some ground. He lost to Marion Smiley, and they get a little close there in turn 3, and it's going to be close through turn 4 as Ivan Russell takes it off of the infield lip. But we come out of it seemingly without a whole lot of trouble, although it has produced another yellow session for us. So we will be slowed down, expecting maybe a little bit prematurely there that Ivan Russell was going to have more of a problem than what he did, and it certainly looked like the potential was there, but Ivan Russell able to bring it out of turn 4 without any great difficulty. And Lou Malandrone, meanwhile, was getting a little crazy up in turn 2, but he's off and moving under his own power again as Gary's towing moves into the vicinity and now without a task to perform. So Rick Sipes, as we bring our attention back to the focal point, the lead point in this one, will have the lead. They'll be bunched up again, of course, coming out of the yellow.
Now look at that, Tom. Ivan Russell thinks he has third place right now, but the officials just indicated that Marion Smiley is in third place because there was not a full green lap before he took over third place.
So we will still have 11 laps left here, as we had going into this. And looks like Ivan has now dropped into that 4th slot. So
Ray Judy over there on the corner is the one that indicated to Ivan Russell. Years ago, your flagman used to be out on the racetrack, and he could do that job, but got too dangerous. Too many flagmen were run over. So we've got them up in the perch these days. Racing's come a long ways, I'll tell you, safety-wise.
They're not totally safe up there either.
No.
I saw a recent photo sequence in which a couple of starters were thrown right out of their little cage and into a retaining fence behind them. They were hanging on like a couple of wild-clawed cats up there in the photo session. Broken legs and broken pelvises and such. Not an easy sport. Here we go, racing again. The green flag flying for Rick Sipes and Carl Trimmer. Your top 2 in this one, with Marion Smiley right behind them, and then Ivan Russell and Jack Moore, followed by Mike Hancock, who drags her in from Eloy and goes racing with us just about every late model show. Good to have him in the field, too. Right now, Rick Sipes is thinking about a second main event win here in 87. Carl Trimmer right behind him is thinking about, I would rather make it my 11th main event win of this inaugural racing campaign at Raven in 87. That's right, Carl Trimmer out in search of main event win number 11. Right now, he's got a guy to pass, a machine to pass in Rick Sipes and the This Bud's For You car. And so far, Sipes and Budweiser are having nothing to do with being passed. And they are about to lap Lou Malandrone's 48 Buick. Sipes opening it up now just a little bit more on Trimmer. And then Marion Smiley and Ivan Russell battling it out right now, pretty much neck and neck for third place in this one. And Russell takes the surge on the low inside coming out of turn number 2. Lap number 24 is what we're looking at here, with Rick Sipes continuing on in the lead. Carl Trimmer trying to close it off. Then Ivan Russell and Marion Smiley, Jack Moore, Mike Hancock, Bobby Markham, and Paul Banghart now is shoving 71 up. He's working along there with Markham, right behind Hancock, and trying to close it up even more. Banghart unable to get the job done on Hancock on the inside down the back chute.
5 more to go, Tom.
5 laps left, and it's become a 5-lap dash for those 2 right there coming out under the Budweiser sign. The Budweiser car in the lead, Spirit of Vicky Lynn right behind, and here they come again, Sipes and Trimmer. Then it's Ivan Russell, who earlier on led in this one, and Marion Smiley in 4th. Jack Moore rounded out the top 5 so far, and time is becoming a very precious commodity in this one.
Rick Sipes starting to pulling away from Trimmer right now. Once again, Tom, if Rick can just hold on, he'll wrap this one up. But you know how it goes with Carl Trimmer in the last couple of laps. He makes some spectacular moves. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I would imagine Rick Sipes has got an editorial opinion he would like to display in the form of driving here, thinking back to last week when he was in the lead and became entangled with Carl Trimmer up here and took it into the retaining wall, both of them with extensive front end damage. The front clip on Carl's car, I know, had to be replaced. He's battling along in second place now as the white flag flies for these guys right here. Rick Sipes with that much of a lead on Carl Trimmer. They're up by that much on Ivan Russell. And isn't he beginning to smoke Marion Smiley in that number 9 machine?
That he is. Tom, smoke's pouring out of the back of him. Here comes Rick Sipes right now. Can he do it?
2.
Looks like he's gonna.
The checkered flag. Rick Sipes picks up his second main event win of this 87 season, staving off Carl Trimmer in that 74 machine, who takes second place. It'll be the Coors Light number 17 special of Ivan Russell in third place. Marion Smiley's number 9 taking you through fourth. And Jack Moore's 23T rounding out the top 5 with Mike Hancock putting that number 73 machine from Eloy into a sixth place finish. Yeah, go ahead, give him a hand. They deserve it.
He deserves it.
Carl Trimmer, Russell, and Smiley pulling out of here. Rick Sipes is going to enjoy it one more.
Boy, some good racing, good exciting racing right down to the finish. Could have been anybody's race. Carl Trimmer just could not catch Rick Sipes, who was looking mighty fine. Rick's been due out there once again. He's won a main before, looking for his next main, and that he did tonight. So there he is. Let's give him another hand, folks. Budweiser 4U car, Rick Sipes.
Congratulations, Rick, on a second main event win here in Raven's inaugural 87 campaign. Don't be leaving us. We've got a NASCAR Charger main event all set to unroll for you here. After the Chargers main event, our main man, Dave Maness, will go one-on-one with tonight's winners down front and center in Victory Lane. And right after we do that, we'll open up the Victory Lane and Pit Lane gates for you and invite you to mingle and participate with us. Here he is again, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Maness.
I know it's getting a little dusty up there. I can't help, but I just wanted to make a comment. Compared to last week's show, you've seen the same two guys run neck and neck all night. They put on a heck of a show for you. So how about one big round of applause for all those guys tonight? They did a fine job. And you got these crazy guys coming out here. And last week, these guys put on probably the best show they put on all year. They had two abreast racing action. They're real thrillers. Steve Neff and all these guys are doing a job. So let them know you appreciate it when they announce them tonight.
Well, thank you, Dave. That end of it.
Looks like Mr. Vanhorn back there. The car number 1 at the rear of the field on the outside, sponsored by Pennzoil, TJ's Floor Covering Supplies, Bishop's Floor Covering, Fisher Engineering, Auto Recyclers, Vanhorn Carpet Service, Bruno's Furniture Refinishing, and powered by Budweiser, Stahl Radiator, and Sholo, Arizona. Car number 1, John Vanhorn.
Next up, the 02 machine, sponsored by Ace Automatic Transmission and RTT Transmission 2. It's Tucson Tony Izzo.
In the car number 69, sponsored by Old World Automotive, Western Lumber Supply, All Coast Forest Products, Snavely Forest Products, Malco Lumber, Day and Night Plumbing. Car number 69 from Tucson, David Henken.
We can almost affectionately call that car the lumber wagon.
Yeah, just about.
How about number 45, sponsored by Elmo's Saloon over on Country Club, Altieri's Trailer Sales, Classic GM Specialist, and MP Engine and Machine. He's Tucsonan Bob Langston.
In the car number 97, sponsored by Simonson Generator Service, car number 97, Kirk Hall.
Next, the number 2 machine, sponsored by RTT Transmission, Lou's Mobile, Big O Tires, Berman Construction, Star Automotive and Machine, Leon's Automotive, Wagon Mobile Brake, Fresh Farms, and Stetson's New Country and Western Nightclub. They call him Running Water. He's from Tucson, Todd Izzo.
In the car number 15, sponsored by Gary's Towing, Discount Tire, Bud's Outback, Howard's Hydraulic, Dealer Auto Supply, your current point leader here at Raven Raceway, Bob Pennington.
Next up, the 06 machine. They like to call it the Spuds Mobile, sponsored by Golden Eagle Distributing, Brassfield Auto Parts, the Sneak Joint Bar and Grill, Lancaster Pest Control, and Jeff's Matco Tools. That's Tucsonan Don McMurrick at the wheel.
From Wilcox, Arizona, they call him the Bounty Hunter, sponsored by Benedum Engine, Dunnigan Towing, Banks Transmission, car number 111, George Benedum.
The number 7 car, sponsored by Certified Auto Electric, Performance Engine and Machine, George's Automatic Transmission, ABC Radiator, C&L Thunder, Check's Pinstriping and Lettering, Dan's Paint and Body, Dave's Performance, Speedway Auto Parts, Quaker State, and Motorsports and Supply, Eastside Engine and Interstate Battery. Good Lord, he's been busy besides racing. Colin Germain.
In the car number 10, sponsored by Engines Etc., Mr. Dan Umphreys.
Inside the 5th row, the number 98 machine, sponsored by Joe's Auto and Machine, Bishop's Floor Covering, Fisher Engineering, LeBeau's Radiator Service, and Evenson and Sons Welding, plus Ben and Son Auto Salvage. That's Tucson and Ron Bishop.
In the car number 5.95. From Tucson, sponsored by Fashions 5, Corporate Medical Center, Japanese and German Auto Service, AAA Lock and Key, R&S Auto Supply, I like this, Nasty Septic Systems, Eastside Engine Specialty, D'Angelo Roofing, his first year of racing, Marvin Catlin.
And inside Marvin on that 4th row will be sponsored by Tough Off-Road, McCleskey Electric, Max Tire and Lube, and the Automobile Recyclers. The number 36 machine of Tucson and Butch McCleskey.
On the inside of the 2nd row, in the car number 77 from Tucson, sponsored by Friendly Auto Sales, Drake & Sons, R&M Auto Sales, the member of the Fart Team, car number 77, Larry Davis.
And you did that with a straight face. I can't believe it. Inside the 3rd row, sponsored by Kelly Realty, Pima Automotive, Brandon Brothers Texaco, Performance Engine and Machine, Drake & Son Auto Communications Systems, Ellis Race Cars, Jack's Towing, Interstate Battery, Leo's Auto Parts. That's Tucson and John Watson.
I don't believe I did that. In the car number 79. Nope, it's not 79. George is looking for the car. Who is that supposed to be, George? Is that Tom Campbell? The car number 21T, sponsored by Custom Classics, CT Tire, and Tink's Lounge. Driving for Tom Campbell tonight is Tom Campbell.
Interesting, but he's left the field already in this one. So we'll find out what we can on him, relay it to you as soon as possible. Next up, inside row 2, number 23, sponsored by Barrett and DeYoe Construction, Brassfield Auto Parts, Gary's Towing, Tia Elena Restaurant, House of Carpet, Subway Sandwiches, and Allen Signs. The car that's got the Follow Me to Raven Raceway bumper sticker on the rear of it, Tucsonan Gordon Sam.
Just throwing up the Frisbees out into the stands also. Okay, on the outside of the front row from Sierra Vista, Arizona, sponsored by Arizona Sign and Graphics, Chaparral Van Lines, Cochise Fuel, Mini Marts, Cal Gas of Sierra Vista from Sierra Vista, car number 79, Ray Wilson.
And on your pole position tonight, the 4U car, sponsored by Southwest Stucco, Perfection Autocraft, Jack Rabbit Towing and Salvage, and Roger Garrett and Neighborhood. It's Tucsonan Steve Neff.
So there you have it, the lineup for our 25-lap Charger main event. Jim Lackey, please go to the office. Jim Lackey to Raven Raceway office, please.
Well, we're getting down to the nit and the grit here, and there's your late arrival, Tom Campbell. Boy, what timing, huh?
Just made her out there.
Nips in behind Ray Wilson, who's up to do his racing here in Tucson tonight, out of Sierra Vista, one of Jack Jacobs' favorite hangouts. Been hanging out a lot down there lately.
All week long this week.
Trying to get it laid in between rainstorms, that asphalt. I'll tell you, boy, when the rains hit that, you know it, don't you?
You sure do.
It just melts and runs.
And runs and melts.
Dave Maness will be back at the conclusion of this to open up Victory Lane.
And pick up that lucky number program. Oh, we already give the lucky numbers out.
I think we've worn that sucker out tonight. How many times did we do it?
14.
No, you were at 17 a little while ago.
My goal was 15.
Did you lose some?
Pick up,
Demerits.
well, they could still buy a program, get a 10% off a detail over at Lucky Larry's shop. I got 15 in tonight.
What a salacious laugh.
Oh, boy. This has been fun tonight.
Yeah, and we don't want it to become dangerous, so what we will do, with the Tucson Valley Marble people's permission, we will sit on our doggy dishes, pardon the expression. We had to push our intermission interrogatories along tonight because we wanted to do everything in our effort to get the entire program in for you, so that is the excuse, the reasoning behind that, and we will sit on these 6 or 7 doggy dishes from Tucson Valley Marble, and we will pass those along to you next weekend, which will be a very special weekend out here anyway, as we race on the 5th and the 6th. It'll be a Labor Day effort, Labor Day weekend effort at any rate, and racing next Saturday and Sunday at 8 o'clock both nights. Here we go, Jack Jacobs. We've got us a 25-lap NASCAR Charger main event unraveling for you, and there goes Gordon Sams and Ray Wilson right behind Steve Neff. Off the top, your leader in this one. Oh, look at the traffic. Look at the passes being made out there. It's worse than a sailors' convention in the middle of whatever.
Middle of San Diego.
I've never seen so many passes.
Oh, look out. Almost a head-on, and we do get a head-on collision.
Holy smoke, he survived one hellacious opportunity for a head-on, only to get a light little tapper that really didn't do a whole lot of damage. Except to maybe the front end of 06 looks a little more bunched up than what it has in the past. Don McMurray having a bit of a problem there and getting to know Tom Campbell just a little bit better in that number 21 machine, but they both unpile from it relatively unscathed, and they're ready to go racing once again.
Well, I'm sure I'll get them all lined up once again. We did not complete a lap under the green flag, so we're going to get a complete restart. As 79, Ray Wilson on the outside, Steve Neff, your pole sitter, will lead him around once again.
Yeah, it was more passes than you might expect at a sailors' convention, for sure. I have never seen so much passing go on in one great flurry as what it did with these guys up in turn 2, and I thought we were going to come all the way through unscathed, but not so.
It looked that way. Who's in the pits? 21
to
Campbell.
the pits. So Campbell maybe experienced a little bit more of a problem than it initially looked when he got a little tangled up there that brought out this yellow in the first place. So we are looking restart here. Saturday night, number 29 August. Boy, where did this summer ever skip to? It just goes to prove when you are having fun, and we have been having almost 6 months of fun now, that it goes by awfully rapidly.
Well, Lucky Larry in 77's glad that yellow came out because something happened to his car coming out of turn number 2, and he fell way back to about the middle of the pack. But since we did not complete that one green flag lap, he gets his position back on the outside pole of the second row. So who's coming back? 21 headed back out on the racetrack. Let's see where they put him.
Tom Campbell doing a quick exit and a quick return. There he is now. Almost overshooting the field here. Then he would have, well, he's going to have to just drop it in there.
Back of the pack, they're going to tell him.
Yep.
You pulled off the track, Tom, back of the pack.
What a feeling. But as we've said so often, so many times before, it sure is, the Dickens does beat the alternative, does it not?
Nope. These guys will learn by the end of the season. Once you go off the racetrack, you go to the rear. It takes them a while.
Hey, they got their hands full, and this is, after all, our beginners or starters division.
Yes,
so.
and Tom's relatively new out here, so he's learning. Like the rest of them. 06 at the back of the pack right now also. Don McMurray.
Well, the green flag all furled up in starter George Camp's hand. Bob McKinley also watching on. They're moving at a snail's pace right now, is being set by Steve Neff in the number 4 machine. One of the few times you'll see him standing still, or almost standing still. And we're not going to get the green. The yellow flag comes up into the breeze once again.
595 has a problem, we were informed, Tom. 5.95 right here. And perhaps he may go into the pits. Let's see.
They were a little late in getting out of it, too.
Yeah, that's what he's got, something dragging, and he head into the pits right now.
And Gordon Sams just about got his rear end kissed real good by John Watson up here in front of the grandstand area, but Watson caught on just in time in order to drift it to the low and inside of Sams. That could have been embarrassing.
Yes, it could.
And hardly a worse place out there to do it. So we really did not get into our Raven Wave tonight. We figured with the wind blowing along at as brisk a pace that would be our Raven Wave this evening. How refreshing it's been. And we've got racing once again. Here we go. Steve Neff in the lead. Ray Wilson and Gordon Sams, followed by John Watson and Lucky Larry Davis. That's your top handful right now. And looks to me like Ray Wilson has given up a lot of ground awfully quick back there. And sure enough, he is, as we've got one down, but moving under his own power again up here in turn 4, but not quickly enough to keep us from having to reach for the yellow once again, as Izzo in the 0-2 machine. Tony goes limping into the infield now.
Lucky Larry Davis on the back straightaway spun out. Looks like he's got his front end crunched up just a little bit.
And who's that, McCleskey?
That looks like McCleskey also.
A little wild up in turn 2, so a few instances of yellow caution coming out here.
How many laps down? What a look I got from Tony Barrow when I asked how many laps down. 17 down? Oh, 18's coming out. Okay, no laps down. We haven't got a good start on this one.
I was going to say, if it's 17, boy, you've done pulled a flask one on me.
A flask one?
Flask one? Speaking of that, where's my flask?
I need a flask right now. That Budweiser over there is looking better and better each lap.
Who just went down the ladder?
That's
McKinley?
Bob McKinley.
So they're trying to get the 79 machine into that second spot, apparently, behind Steve Neff. Oh, look at Lucky Larry's front end. It's all buckled up as he limps off to the pit field. Sorry to see that. There is Pennington right behind George Bennett, Ron Bishop behind him, Kirk Hall, Colin Germain, John Vanhorn, Bob Langston. McCleskey's back here. Fetter in 18. Ms. Pamela. What are you nibbling on, Jackson?
Just a cheese crisp Linda Manus brought up to me.
Son of a gun.
Would you like some?
No thanks.
Okay. I don't usually eat while I work, but
It's not what I hear. Tony Barrow saying we are really far off to another official on her little headset just now. She says, boy, is this screwed up. So screwed up that you see officials in the starter stand, below the starter stand, and you no doubt hear them in the background. Now we're going to make sure you hear them. Listen up. Well, there you have it. A little bit of that does go a long way, after all. But thank you, Jack Jacobs, for being a real sneak with our stick mic and sticking it right in Tony Barrow's ear. She didn't even know it. And that's who you heard going, as they're rattling off numbers and trying to get it back into the sensible fashion here so as we can restart it all.
looks like they're going to restart them in a single file. As Tony Barrow heads down the straightaway.
Here comes Tony Barrow now out of the
Stairway.
announce tower and down the stairway to hand deliver the order of appearance, how it should be. And here comes Candy Woods, another of our hierarchy up the steps. Boy, I love that new dress she's got there. Isn't that
That is
a sweetie?
nice.
Love those Levi styles. She is in a...
Oh, look at that. See, you give her all these compliments, and then she gives you one of...
Oh, my goodness. All that talent on the stairway. Candy Woods and Tony Barrow. Oh, it's going to be a long night now.
You guys been out here before at Raven Raceway, before it was Raven Raceway, and nobody else ever made you a star, right?
I even found out where I could buy one of those dresses. She gave me the name of the lady to see and the shop to see, and that's a nice one. That
You're not
really
that
is.
kind of fella, are you?
What kind?
You're going to buy a dress?
Well, not for me.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you
Not for me.
explained that.
I've got a lady in mind. What do you mean, oh? They are still busy, they being the officials, getting this one sorted out.
And while they're sorting them out, folks, how about giving George Camp, our flag man, a good hand for a good job that he's doing out there tonight? George Camp!
Jeez.
You are, George! Hi, Michael Jackson gloves and all. He's ready to go to sleep.
Instant air conditioning.
What are you doing?
I wouldn't turn my back on Linda Manus. That's a lady hard to turn your back on anyway, but boy, when you do, I just got an ice cube down the back, Jack. Oh, I tell you, all the nights.
Let's take her name off the entrance list.
All the nights in recent summer times that we could have used it, would they come up here and do it?
Nope.
No. They wait till the first night the temperature plunges below the 80-degree mark out here. And what do? But they bring the ice cubes by and make pests of themselves.
Now she brought me a cheese crisp, so I can't say too much. And oh, she got Robin. This woman is evil.
She is one of the orneriest gals I have
Look
ever
at that.
known. What a
It's
cobra.
the wind, she says. Something in the air.
What a cobra.
Yeah.
Terri, 97.45.
Are the lights on up here in the press box? The lights are on. Yeah, they're on. Okay.
Okay, 45, 36.
Oh, you are evil tonight.
No, I'm in trouble now.
Funny way to wear your jacket, Linda. Oh, wow. Linda, can I put you to work? I just saw something we forgot to do earlier this evening. Would you be so kind as to step down the stairway here and
Throw those dogs
and pass out this fresh, what does it say again?
Oh, she got me. Ow!
Fresh baked buns T-shirt and a couple of Frisbees.
Okay.
Since you're such an ornery lady and
You're right.
you're right, absolutely. Okay, here comes Linda Manus out of the announce tower, ladies and gentlemen. She's got a fresh baked buns T-shirt and a couple of Frisbees from the submarine sandwich and salad folks here in our town. Ooh, look at that.
And a fan just fell over the stands onto the concrete. No. No, just kidding.
Joe Necro, eat your heart out. There goes the shirt.
There goes
And
the
there goes
Frisbee.
another Frisbee. Oh, my goodness. Look at them clamoring over the fence for that. Whew. Couple of certificates. How about that from Subway? Free Subway ticket, so to speak.
If you folks were wondering why I screamed a minute ago, Linda Manus dropped some ice down my back.
If you would like a certificate from Subway, raise your hand. She won't throw these. She'll hand deliver them or come up the steps here.
No.
Don't come up crazy. Come up in a cohesive fashion. We don't want anybody taking a spill out here and racking themselves up. A couple of nice certificates from the Subway folks in our town.
Sheila Vanhoff going to be out in this one, huh, Tom?
Well, that's good. Here she comes now.
Car number 22. And Sheila's sponsored by Rally's Big O, Paul's Automotive, Quaker State, CP Electric, MP Engine and Machine, Terri Trailer Sales. Car number 22 into this race, Sheila Vanhoff. Pamela Feder sponsors in that car number 18 are Caboto Pontiac, Metro Oil Service, Astrolite Batteries, Ken's Exxon, El Campo Tire, Johnny's Restaurant, Gary's Towing, Spark Cycle Supply, Offmuth Used Cars, WW Enterprises, Dealers Auto, P&J Recycling, Desert Cooling Specialties, Simon's Drive Shaft and Machine Shop. And her hubby John drives the number 19 car usually. So that's Pamela Feder out into this race right now in our 25-lap main event for the NASCAR Chargers.
Oh, she's in rare form tonight.
Was that a bird just flew by the press box?
That was little Linda Manus. She's got her hammer and her nails, and she's tacking some sort of a, no doubt, tacky sign on the door to the announce tower. Well, we've got motion down there once again, which is always a good indication. Steve Neff leads them single file fashion around. It's a 25-lapper. NASCAR Charger main event. McMurrick's right front. Got a new little indentation in it from some close running out here tonight, no doubt.
Oh, 5.95 back out here.
Marvin Catlin. Fashions 5.95. Steve Neff at the front of the class. Ray Wilson from Sierra Vista and Gordon Sams, followed by John Watson, Ron Bishop, Butch McCleskey, Colin Germain. That's your stack of 7.
Gordon Sam's really thirsty for a main event win here.
We say 7 in a row all the time down at KRQ, and your first 7 in a row. Neff, Wilson, Sams, Davis, Watson, Catlin, and McCleskey. So somebody's missing out there because it doesn't add up. It's Lucky Larry who is not in 4th place.
064 to 77.
So we move Watson up, follow him with Ron Bishop. Then comes McCleskey, and then I think Colin Germain. That's how it's looking at any rate.
If they would just describe it. Here comes, it's a cabbage palm.
Here we go, racing once again. The green flies, and so does Steve Neff at the front of the class with Ray Wilson at number 79 out of Sierra Vista right behind him, and look at John Watson at number 30 trying to cut it off and dive by Gordon Sams at number 23, but he's unable to get the job done up there, working in close quarters in turn 2. Here they come out of turn 4. Sams battling it along in that number 23 car, trying to stave off John Watson. Don't think he was able to get it done. Watson took the low road into turn 1 and comes out of it up in turn 2 in the lead position of those two. Steve Neff continues on to lead all of this one in this, the For Sure car. Watson now in second, then Sams and Bishop. Ron Bishop going to put some moves on, given the opportunity. And he's running along in 4th place now. Wilson continues to lose ground, Jack, up there in the high road out of turn 1. Running along right behind Butch McCleskey and Colin Germain. Back in the pack, because there's your leader. For Sure, Steve Neff. John Watson at number 30. There's Ron Bishop. It looks like Gordon Sams is mounting a new charge now and trying to knock Bishop back just a skosh.
Yo.
Some wild whistles up here, huh?
Sure are.
We'll see if that helps any as Marvin Catlin takes the Fashions 5 machine back into the pit field. See if he can't get a quick turnaround there. They all like to do that. Whether they can in fact do it is often the only question that lingers.
Steve Neff is about to run into some traffic in the next lap or two. Let's see if John Watson can take advantage of that. because he's got about 5 of them right up in front of him right now as he heads down the back straightaway.
Todd Izzo is going to have some sheet metal work to do this week on the front and hood area of that car. He's gotten it bunched up quite a little bit out here tonight, Jack.
That he does, and look out, Todd, as Todd goes wide and almost loses it. I wonder if that hood has any effect on that handling of that car with the wind going under it. I'm sure it does.
I would think it would tend to slow it up just a little bit. Although aerodynamics probably not all that important a factor on this classification of racer, or at least not as important as it is on the various steps up after this.
Well, Steve Neff making a real charge down the front straightaway gets out of most of the traffic right now as the car number 21 brings it into the pits.
That's Tom Campbell back to the pits.
Oh, look out down the front straightaway.
Oh boy, did that get thick and hairy.
These guys mean business.
Kurt Call going side by side with Bob Pennington.
Oh, look
there.
out, Gordon.
Gordon getting a little close to the outside retainer up there. Steve Neff continues to be the dominator in this one, though.
Got them all bunched up down on the front straightaway. Everybody battling, trying to get toward the front as Gordon Sams leads them. And here comes Bennett, trying to overtake Sams. Neff really starting to open up the gap right now. Watson can't seem to catch him, Tom.
79.
But it's not over yet. There goes Todd Izzo.
Oh, boy. Sam's getting a little loose on that rear end up there in turn 4, but able to bring her back under control, and that with an awful lot of traffic around him.
Todd Izzo on the back straightaway, Tom, while you were watching that, did a 360 like he's doing right now.
He got him another one down there on the inside of turn 4, and that'll produce more yellow.
On the back straightaway, Todd Izzo done a 360 completely around and just kept on going. Made it over to turn number 4. Wound up doing the same thing, but could not get it quite turned around to keep on going. But he gets it started again.
We've got now 9 of your 25 laps here in your Charger main event in the book. McCleskey takes a right now and hits the exit road into the pit field. So he is another retiree to the pits.
McCluskey?
See if we can get a quick turnaround on Butch. Butch running right in the thick of it all.
Todd Izzo just took it into the pits also in that car number 2. See if they can get back out here.
I've got 9 laps down. I'm checking the lineup.
So 9 laps are gone. 16 remain. And it's still a fairly early Saturday night here.
30, 22.
Got off to a quick and crisp start this evening, not knowing what Ma Nature may conjure up for us. So far, she has not been the problem. A little windy at times, and that perhaps is drying out the track a little faster than what we would have liked, but these guys have done a great job in acclimating to the changing conditions. Steve Neff, meanwhile, in that 4 Sure car there, has acclimated himself to the lead rather well, and we'll see what John Watson in number 30 or Ron Bishop in 9-8 or Dan Umfris in number 10 or Gordon Sams perhaps in the number 23 car can do to close things off. The guy who has his birthday coming up on Monday over from Wilcox, they call him the Bounty Hunter, and he will be celebrating another birthday on Monday the 31st. George Benedum in the 111 machine is currently running along in 6th place. Larry Davis, Lucky Larry in 77, is back into it, but he is well back in the pack in this one. He has done some strong running in weeks past. Ray Wilson brings her back out, the Sierra Vista car, number 79. And we had some more takers for our heel jobs from Paul Montgomery's Cactus Boot and Shoe Repair. weren't able to talk about it a lot at the time. In fact, we were talking with Kent Lacey at the time. But we had some heels show up, and so Paul Montgomery, you can expect the heels to be coming to you, so as they can be becoming to anybody they want to be becoming to in the near future.
Tony Izzo back out into the racetrack. Ray Wilson out there. Like you said, Lucky Larry Davis back into the field.
Are we going 20 on this?
A 25-lapper Charger main event, and we're trying to get back into it. With the green in hand, George Camp, he gives it a wave and says, let's go, guys. Come on, let's wrap it up. It's been real and it's been fun, and now it'll be real fun if we can keep it lean, green, and finish this baby up. And we got a bunch of them, Jack. A little wild and woolly up there in turn 4, but as you would expect this late in the season, they were able to bring it under their own control, and all with the exception of one now, who's lost it up here in 4 and sitting facing the wrong direction. It'll produce one more yellow.
Car number 06. And it looks like, I believe that's his second yellow, Tom, and he may not be back out for this one. Let me check with the officials. Don McMerrick and 06.
Yeah, that's the second yellow.
Black flag to Don McMerrick, causing a yellow flag for the second time, and that means you're out of it.
Tough to see that for that guy, and
here comes McCluskey back out on the racetrack.
06 retires to the pit field, and you know why.
The Spudsmobile.
Not the best of ways to go, but we don't always get to pick the way we go.
And then they're all right from there on back, right, Terri?
Lucky Larry still deep in the pack. That's Butch McCluskey there.
George Bennetton and number 111 into the pits right now. We're getting there.
Steve Neff being chased right now by John Watson.
Wasn't it Steve Neff and Watson battling for the lead last time, and Watson being the victor?
I believe it was.
Yeah.
Several weeks back. Benetton coming back out, we've just been informed. So the Wilcox car will be back into the fray here. And also the Sierra Vista car.
Ooh.
So they call that Happy Birthday Boy the Bounty Hunter over in the Wilcox area.
Green flag once again, Tom, as Steve Neff leads him down the front straightaway. Sheila Vanhoffen, number 22, is a lap car. And that's Ron Bishop right behind Sheila, trying to catch up to Watson but Sheila's not going to let Bishop by right now. She's out there to race. Here we go. We're going to do one of these side-by-side things again, huh?
And they're trying to get it set up for you. Now Bishop's got some clear sailing on those top two. Let's see if he can close it up as the laps begin counting now. The crisscross red and yellow about to be given him, as it is being given you now by George Camp. He turns and gives it to the drivers. We are at the midway point. 12 and a half down, 12 and a half to go. Adds up, I think, to 25. Should have done it while they were under the Winston Racing sign.
Lucky Larry Davis spinning out on turn number 4.
And what's he going to do here? Back her up to the high side. Keep her tucked up there for a little while and stay out of the way. Job well done. Looked very easy, but I'll tell you what, it's not always easy to think clearly under those conditions, to say the very least. A 20-lapper now because of the time element. Also, the track's drying out as it is. And we are on lap number 13. So 13 of 20 now. To get you up to date. Steve Neff continues in the lead. Watson right behind him. Ron Bishop there trying to close things up. And pushing that 98 for all she's worth, but he's about a quarter of a lap back on the leaders. Steve Neff and John Watson, and here they come out of turn 4, Jack.
Steve Neff leads Watson around once again, as you said, Tom, and Ron Bishop trying to catch up ever so desperately. Dan Umphris hanging in there right on Ron's rear, just 2 or 3 car lengths back. And Colin Germain overtook Gordon Sams in 23. So now Colin is currently in 5th place. Sams drops back to 6th place with a lot of traffic behind him. Well, Neff is opening up the gap just a little bit, but John Watson keeps trying to get on the inside as they head into turn number 3 and 4. Let's see what Watson does this time, and he does go on the inside of him. Steve Neff on the outside, but Watson can't catch him this time. Lap number 16 of 20 right now, headed for lap number 17.
It's always a lot of fun, Jack, you know, to watch these little pockets of cheerleaders in the stands. We've got both of the Neff and Watson camps in close proximity to one another, apparently, down here between the announce tower and the starter stand. So might want to look for them. They rise on each circuitous that comes around and cheer their favorite on.
This will get interesting now as Steve Neff and Watson are headed into a bunch of traffic up in front of them as lap number 17 is in the books.
Definitely into the 11th hour on this one. Figuratively and literally, the 11th hour of this one tonight.
Lap number 18, white flag in the hand of George Camp. Steve Neff really wanting to pull this one off. John Watson's going to try everything in his power to overcome Steve Neff. Look out here in the front straightaway as car number 79 and also Butch McCluskey. Butch spinning out, 79. Whew, that was close.
McCluskey almost pulled out of that situation a little bit prematurely there. He brought some gasps out in the crowd, to say the least, and up here in the tower as well.
So that will close them up once again. And not so much for Watson, because Watson was already closed up right on Steve Neff's rear. But the rest of them, for instance, Bishop and Umphris and Colin and Gordon, will appreciate that because it will close it up with 18 laps down and only 2 to go once we get these cars started and back under power or off the racetrack. 2 more laps to go, so it's going to be a dash down to the finish.
A madcap dash to the finish.
And we'll get our trophy girls, Melissa and Michelle, down to the front straightaway, and we'll have our presentations for Rick Sipes and the winner of this main event, the winner of the semi-main, and the rest of the winners. McCluskey gets his car back going once again. He'll trail the field. McCluskey, a lapped car. I'm curious to see what Ron Bishop's going to do. Now, Ron is currently in 3rd place. He doesn't have any lap cars in front of him. He's a good competitor. He'll try to overtake Watson because Ron knows the time is running out right now. Watson knows it also. Steve Neff, who really looks good out there tonight, just pours it on. But, well, 2 more to go. In just a few minutes, it'll be in the history books. And then we'll have to see.
You mean some kid 20, 30 years from now is going to have to study this as part of history?
Well, the history books of Raven Raceway. Smart guy. Get your lucky number programs. You get 10% off a detail at Friendly Auto Service. Lucky number programs still on sale. You didn't hear me.
Kids who are planning on being out here next Saturday and Sunday night, bring a picture of your pet, because we will use pictures of pets that night. Kind of a little walk-up contest to the giving away of our Tucson Valley marble doggy dishes and such. So you kids in the stands who can make plans to be back next Saturday and or Sunday night, bring a puppy or a kitty cat picture, or if you got a pet llama like Michael Jackson, bring that, and we'll fix you up with a marble doggy dish. Jack, here you go. 2 to go.
Leads him down. Yes, that's right. 2 to go. And who will know as John Watson gets in on the inside of Neff out of turn number 2. So it's going to be down to the wire once again between these 2 guys, Steve Neff and Watson. Here comes Ron Bishop bringing up in third place. The white flag comes out. Here we go again, side by side, as Watson tries to get on the inside of Neff. Neff won't let him in. A little bit of a bump,
boy.
but Neff hangs on. Boy, what driving by Steve Neff, Tom.
He absolutely refused to concede it to John Watson, but Watson's looking strong on the
Here
inside.
we go again, right down to the wire. Let's see who's going to take it. John Watson on the inside, and John does it again. My goodness gracious, that's some good driving by Mr. John Watson in that car number 30 from Tucson. Steve Neff held on the whole race just about. Winds up in second place. Dan Humphries doing a good job in third place. Ron Bishop in car number 98 in fourth place. Let's give them a good hand, folks. The car number 30 from Tucson, John Watson.
Almost bar. I'll Terri's trailer sale.
Terri's trailer sale. Okay, one over here. John Watson, 2 in a row. Another nice race for you. Congratulations again.
They don't need to run a front straightaway. I checked the carburetor.
You got the munchies? Okay. All right.
30 cars.
John's got a special little friend that would like to have a trophy. Right? So whether you can leave it down, I guess it's a friend of his. And, he wants to just a trophy girl? Okay. Congratulations.
Okay, John, smile! One more. John, look this way. Smile.
Michelle. Winston, you can wait.
Move off the Budweiser. Move off the Budweiser. You gotta have Budweiser in it.
How are we going to get it all in?
Okay, that's good enough right there. There you go, that's even better. Good.
Yeah.
That's real good.
Okay, first floor, right floor out here.
It's none of your
Right here, Rick.
How about a nice round of applause for Rick Sykes, congratulations to you. We're going to open the gates and let you down here and visit these people and careful coming down. Tom, take it away.
Well, that's I hope Mike does the same thing.
All right, John. Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Come on, man.
Hey, look, if you lose, you gotta do the whole thing.